It all started on what I thought was a completely normal Wednesday evening. I came home from work a little later than usual because traffic was insane, and as I walked in, I noticed my husband, Dan, acting a bit off. He quickly shut his laptop as soon as I opened the door, almost like a kid caught doing something they shouldn't. I didn't think much of it at first. Everyone deserves privacy, but this wasn't the first time I'd caught him being secretive lately. We'd been married for 4 years, together for 6, and I always thought we had a pretty transparent relationship. But over the past few months, Dan had been distant. He'd spend hours locked in his home office, claiming he was swamped with work. His phone was always on silent or flipped face down. He'd suddenly started working late or going out with colleagues I'd never met. Something just didn't add up. That night, while he showered, I saw the notification light blinking on his laptop. It was a message from someone named L. I hesitated, but curiosity and, honestly, a bit of fear got the better of me. I opened it. The message read, "When are you going to tell her? You can't keep living a double life forever." My heart dropped. I didn't even know what double life meant in this context. Was he cheating? Was he hiding something even worse? I stared at the screen, feeling my chest tighten. I scrolled up to see the earlier messages. There were dozens of them, spanning weeks. But nothing explicitly romantic. Instead, it was about money, investments, payments. Then I stumbled upon a few words that made my stomach twist. The operation is set for next month. Once the funds clear, we're in the clear. Operation? Funds? It sounded so ominous. Was Dan involved in something illegal? I closed the laptop quickly as I heard the shower turn off. I acted normal, but my mind was racing. The next few days, I tried to gather more clues without tipping him off. Every time I asked about work, he'd brush me off. Every time I suggested we go out or have a weekend together, he had an excuse. It wasn't until Saturday morning that I finally got my chance. Dan had forgotten to log out of his email. I saw an email thread between him and L, whose real name was Liam, apparently. It wasn't criminal activity. It was a secret business. Dan had been running a high-stakes poker operation online, laundering money through cryptocurrency. He'd been hiding this from me for over a year. I sat there stunned, reading email after email detailing how he'd set up fake accounts, used offshore wallets, and even hired people to act as players to manipulate games. He wasn't just a player, he was running the whole thing. I didn't know whether to confront him or go straight to the authorities. I felt betrayed, confused, scared. How could the man I married, who I thought was a regular, albeit stressed, accountant, be leading an underground operation? But then, as I kept reading, something else caught my eye. A file attachment labeled Emergency Plan. I clicked it. Inside was a detailed plan on how Dan would disappear if things went south. New IDs, bank accounts, even a flight booked under a different name for the following month. At that moment, it felt like the air was sucked out of the room. Was he planning to leave me? Before I could process it all, Dan walked in. "Hey, what are you doing in here?" he asked, his tone casual but his eyes narrowing slightly. I forced a smile. "Just looking for a file. Needed to print something." He nodded but watched me closely. My heart was hammering so loudly I was sure he could hear it. Later that night, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I sat him down and said, "Dan, I need to ask you something. And please, be honest with me." He looked tense immediately. "What's going on?" "I know about the poker operation. I know about Liam. And I know about the plan to disappear." His face went pale. "You've been lying to me, Dan." "For how long? And why?" I asked, my voice trembling but steady enough to demand answers. He ran his hands through his hair, pacing the room. "I didn't want to drag you into this. I thought I could fix everything before it touched you." I shook my head. "But it has touched me. You've been living a lie right next to me. Planning to run away. Were you going to tell me at all?" He sat down, defeated. "I wasn't going to leave you. That plan, it's a backup. I never wanted to use it, but things got complicated. I stared at him, not knowing whether to believe him. Then why hide it? Why keep me in the dark? Because the less you knew, the safer you were, he said quietly. Just as I was about to ask him what he meant by safer, we heard a knock on the door. Dan, open up. It's the police. Before I reveal what happened next, don't forget to like and subscribe. Things only got crazier from here. Dan's face turned ghostly white. He stood frozen for a second before grabbing a small bag from under the couch. I didn't think they'd come this soon, he whispered. Dan, what are you doing? I asked, panic rising in my voice. I have to go. If they take me now, it's over. You can't just run, I shouted, blocking the door. They'll arrest me and they'll come after you too. I can't let that happen. The knocking turned into loud pounding. Mr. Richards, open the door or we'll break it down. Please, I begged, just talk to them. Maybe you can make a deal. Dan shook his head. It's too late for that. He looked at me one last time, his eyes filled with regret. I love you. I'm sorry. And then, before I could stop him, he opened the back window and disappeared into the night. The door burst open moments later. Officers swarmed in, shouting, searching every room. Where is he? An officer demanded. I stood there, numb. He's gone, I whispered. And just like that, the life I thought I knew shattered into pieces. I haven't seen Dan since. Every day, I wonder if he's still out there, if he's safe, if he ever thinks about me. Or if he's truly gone for good. And every night, I replay that moment, the moment he walked away, and wonder if there was something I could have done differently. But deep down, I know the truth. Sometimes, no matter how much you love someone, you can't save them from themselves.